25 News.
They haven't really given us an opportunity to bring about this issue that literally affects so much on this campus.
That group has a right to march. We have a right to determine who we accept advertising from.
Controversy at Baylor. Students are calling it censorship, while Baylor says it's an issue of policy. This Saturday, there's a march for women's reproductive rights, and some students paid for an advertisement in the Lariat, the student newspaper.
Now, that ad was initially approved, paid for, but then pulled from actually ever running. Tonight, 25 News in-depth reporter Austin Walker is live on campus with more. Austin?
Yeah, Todd, Baylor has a very strong stance when talking about this ad. It says it violates many of the guidelines written out by the Baylor Lariat. But the student who did propose this ad says they should be focusing on doing what is right. And she says she's calling it a violation of her freedom of speech.
So we were kind of confused in that sense.
Today, Veronica Pinales, a junior at Baylor University, remains confused.
It's going to bring up a lot of discussion.
About a week ago, Pinales approached the Lariat, the student-run newspaper at Baylor University, to run an advertisement about the Women's Reproductive Rights March happening Saturday.
We told them, we were pretty transparent with the whole process. We were like, this is what the ad is going to look like, et cetera, et cetera. And then our Instagram caption was very detailed about what the event was going to actually hold.
Later on, the ad was approved and paid for.
The ad was going to air the next day.
That night, Pinales received a text message from a student at the Lariat saying the ad would not run.
She basically texted me and said, hey, our higher-ups are saying we're not running your ad campaign because it goes against Baylor's religious beliefs.
We reached out to Baylor about the issue. Lori Fogelman, spokesperson for the university, sends a statement saying, quote, Baylor does not accept advertising across the institution that does not align with the university's values and policies.
Baylor's our publisher.
Fogelman directed us to Bruce Geetson, director of student media, who says in the beginning, the ad description didn't reflect the final product.
Once we learned what the true intent of the march was, we decided that that was not adhering to our guidelines and our bylaws and policies, and we immediately refunded the money.
Pinales says this is not true.
I sent in a graphic, and that same graphic was used multiple times, just different sizing.
Geetson says it also comes down to the advertising policies set by the Lariat. Bullet points 5 and 6 states what the paper will not advertise, including any advertisement relating to abortion.
I think every media entity in the country has the right and exercises that right to determine what advertising they accept, what advertising they turn down. I'm sure KXXV is the same way.
Since Baylor is a private institution compared to a public university, it is allowed to make these decisions.
They get to set their own values and policies based on the Christian mission here. It's a 175-year-old university, and they've been pretty consistent with that.
And while the ad, yes, does go against their policy, Pinales says it raises the question of right versus wrong.
They haven't really given us an opportunity to bring about this issue that literally affects so much on this campus.
Saying her right to freedom of speech has been taken.
That's not what this is. This is an advertising issue. It's not a freedom of speech issue.
If it isn't such a big polarizing thing, then why are they so against posting it?
Pinales says she's also still confused why the ad was approved, paid for, and denied all within 24 hours. But this also raises more discussion about controversial items here on campus like LGBTQ. It's been an issue and a topic we've heard about for many years, and the university is working on adding more representation across all platforms. But people wonder, when will abortion also follow suit? Reporting live tonight from Waco, Austin Walker, 25 News.